Alright, this is 2-4, and we are writing equations of lines when given certain information. The first thing we're going to look at is the linear equation y equals mx plus b is written in slope-intercept form, where the slope is m and the y-intercept is b. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, or we often use y equals m times x minus x1 plus y1, and that's from that song that hopefully I played you already. If not, remind me and I'll play it for you tomorrow. And it says two variables vary directly if there's a non-zero number k such that the following is true: y equals kx, where k is the constant of variation, is direct variation. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, hold on, I gotta get water. Sorry, I'm thirsty. Is it says to write the equation of the lines shown. And these appear to be going nicely through the x-axis, so we're going to use y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So the first thing we're going to find is our y-intercept. So look on your graph and tell me where it crosses the y-axis. It crosses the y-axis at -2. And then let's find the slope. And remember that slope is rise over run. So I just went down 2 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. So down 2 over 4, and that reduces to down 1 over 2. And I'm done. And we could have went down 1 over 2 here. Down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. And then what about this one? I'm going to do the same thing. It's y equals blank x plus blank, where that's m and that's b. So my b, my y-intercepts, where it crosses the y-axis, is b. So that's a +2. And then my slope, oh look, it gave it to us, is the rise over run. So the rise up and down is -3, and the run is 4. Well, that was nice of them. And I'm done. And then it gives me some different information here. It says write the equation of the line that has a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 5. Well, it's y equals blank x plus blank, where the slope and the y-intercept, and it says the slope is 3 and the y-intercept is 5. And I'm through. That's all there is to it. Now b is a little bit harder. B gives us a slope and a point. So I'm going to use point-slope form. Y equals m times x minus x1 plus y1. And this is m, x, y. x1, y1. And I just do y equals blank, parentheses, x minus blank plus blank, where the slope is 2. It goes in the first one. And then my 4 and my -2 just go in the other 2 spots. And then I just clean it up a little bit. And technically, this is an equation of the line. This is an answer. If it's not multiple choice and the answer, it doesn't specify, the answer is fine. Look at, I'm tongue-tied. This answer is absolutely fine. You can leave it like that. That is an equation of the line. All it said was write an equation of the line. We have written an equation of the line. However, if it's multiple choice and it asks you to put it in y equals mx plus b, we could distribute the 2. So it would be y equals 2x minus 8 plus -2, and then combine the like terms. So it would be y equals 2x minus 10. And then on C, whoa, hello. That scrolled a lot. I didn't mean for it to do that. It gives us 2 points. So the first thing we have to do is find our slope, and it's x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's 6 plus 3 is 9, 5 minus 2 is 3, 9 over 3 is 3. So then we do y equals m times x minus x1 plus y1. I just say y equals blank, x minus blank plus blank. And I fill my slope in, and I pick one of my 2 points. It absolutely does not matter which point you pick. You could pick this one, you could pick this one. It doesn't matter. The only thing you can't do is pick a 2 and a 6. You have to pick either 2 and -3 or 5 and 6. So it's either 2 and -3, or you could have done x minus 5 plus 6. And now you got some options. You could leave it like this. However, again, if it's multiple choice, you want to keep going. So it'd be 3x minus 6 plus negative 3, which is 3x minus 9. And regardless of which point you pick, you're going to get the same thing. That's 3x minus 15 plus 6, which is 3x minus 9. So it doesn't matter which point you use. And again, if it's not multiple choice, you can leave it just like this or just like this, and I'm perfectly happy with that. It says write the equation of the line in points. Now it's actually telling you to write it in point slope form. I'm tongue-tied again, I apologize. Point slope form is y equals blank, x minus blank, plus blank, and that's m, x1, y1. So it's the same thing we've been doing. So it's just going to be, the first thing I'm going to do is find my slope. 5 minus negative 1 over negative 3 minus 3. That's 5 plus 1 is 6. Negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6. 6 divided by negative 6 is negative 1. And now I pick a point. It does not matter which point I pick. My slope is negative 1, and then I'm just going to pick the first one. 3, negative 1, and that is done. I'm going to leave it just like that. Could you have picked the other point? Yes. X minus negative 3 plus 5. Both answers are perfectly fine. Alright, so if you want to try B, you can. Okay, I'm back. So it's 9 minus 5 over 5 minus 3. I'm going to find my slope. 9 minus 5 is 4. 5 minus 3 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And I'm going to go ahead and write both answers. Y equals blank, x minus blank plus blank. Y equals blank, x minus blank plus blank. So it's 2, 3, and 5, or 2, 5, and 9. And my 2 came from here. And the first one I chose the 3, 5. The second one I chose the 5, 9. Both answers are fine. It does not matter. The next thing, it says two non-vertical lines are parallel if and only if they have the same slope. Write an equation of the line that is parallel to this formula and passes through the point 2, 1. Now it's given me a slope and a point, so I'm going to use y equals blank, x minus blank, plus blank. Now parallel lines have the same slope, so the first thing I'm going to do is pull out the slope of this line. The slope of this line is negative 1/2. So if it's parallel, this is also going to be negative 1/2. And then I just put my 2 and my 1, and I'm perfectly content leaving it just like that. It says determine whether the lines are perpendicular. Remember, perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So I need to actually find the slope. So I would solve for y. So minus 3x. That gives me negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 1. And then I divide all the way across by negative 2. So y, a negative divided by negative is a positive. And then that's plus negative 1/2. So the slope of this one is a positive 3/2. And then over here, if I solve for y, so that's 9y equals negative 6x plus 3. Divide all the way across by 9. So y equals negative, if I reduce that by 3, 3 goes into 6, 2, 3 goes into 9, 3. And 3 and 9 would be 1/3. So this slope is negative 2/3. So if you look at them, this one, 3/2, negative 2/3, so they are perpendicular because they are opposite reciprocals. Yes. Okay. Line R1 has equation 3x plus 5. Find an equation of line R2 that passes through the point 3, 1 and is perpendicular to R1. So it gives me a point. So I'm going to do y equals blank, x minus blank, plus blank, 3, 1. That's the first thing I'm going to do is fill in my point. And then I want the perpendicular slope. Well, the slope of this is 3 over 1. To find the perpendicular slope, I flip it and make it negative. The variables x and y vary directly. So from the equation at the beginning, we said that direct variation is y equals kx. That's the formula. And it says y is 6 when x is 1.5. So y is 6 when x is 1.5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for k. I'm going to divide by 1.5. 6 divided by 1.5. is 4. So k is 4. So it's y equals kx, y equals 4x. So that's my formula. So I'm going to graph this. And it's 4x plus nothing. So it's m is 4, b is 0. So I'm going to begin at 0. And I'm going to go up 4 over 1. You could put another point if you wanted to. It's not necessary. And I'm good. Now it asks me to find y when x is 3. Well, my formula is y equals 4x, and I want x to be 3. So y is 12. And then here's the checkpoint. You can pause the video and try these. I'm back. Let's see. Anytime it's a line, you want to try to do y equals mx plus b. The b is the y-intercept, and it looks like it's crossing through the y-axis at -1. And then the slope, you have to pick 2 points on the line. I'm going to use that one as 1, and I'm just going to go up until I see one that crosses exactly right there. So I rise 2 and I run 3. So it's 2/3. And then for 2, it says write an equation of the line that passes through -2, 1, and is a perpendicular and parallel. So y equals blank, x minus blank, plus blank. Didn't tell me to write it in slope-intercept form, so I'm not going to. And I'm going to go ahead and put -2 and 1. The first one, perpendicular to y equals x minus 3. So what's the slope of this line? What's understood to be right there? So the slope is 1. So the perpendicular slope, you flip it. If you flip 1, you get 1, and you make it negative. And if it's parallel, it's just going to be 1. Write an equation of the line that passes through those 2 points. The first thing I'm going to do is find my slope, and let's call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So it'll be -1 minus 3 over 3 minus 1. And it was -1 minus 3 over 3 minus 1. I want you to think that I went -1 minus 3. So that's -4 over 3 minus 1 is 2, which is -2. Did not tell me to write it in slope-intercept form, so I'm not going to. Point slope is easier. Y equals blank, x minus blank plus blank. My slope is -2. I get to choose a point. It does not matter which one. I'm going to choose 1 and 3. You might not have. You may have chosen x minus 3 minus 1. Those are the same. Does not matter. The variables x and y vary directly, and y is 2 when x is 3. So it's y equals kx. Y is 2. X is 3. Solve for k. So k is 2/3. So y equals 2/3 x. So it asks me to graph it. So I'm going to begin at 0 because it's 2/3 x plus 0. My slope is 2/3, so I'm going to go up 2 over 3. And then it asks me to find y when x is 5. Well, my formula is y equals 2/3 x. When x is 5, that's 2 times 5, 10/3. And that's the end, I think. Yes, the end. Smiley face.